Lighting can really make or break a room. It's actually really important. But so is furniture. So why not kill two birds with one stone and build a shelf that's also a lamp? I'm Linn, girl in the shop, and this is the Darbin Orvar channel. It turns out this is actually a pretty easy DIY project, and I think it would enhance almost any space. Let's get started. You might be surprised where we begin our journey. Let's head to Goodwill. For this project, we need an old lamp to make a new lamp. You could use any old lamp you no longer need, or buy one at a thrift store and repurpose it. This one will do fine. However, this one's got a good switch. Before we get started on building the lamp part, let's build the frame. I'm using 1/2-inch plywood here because I'm going to paint this anyway. However, you could also use any wood you have on hand. To make the base, I cut up 4 1-inch strips and 4 1.5-inch strips. I also cut up 4 12 by 12-inch pieces of plywood for my shelves. Next, I prepared to glue and screw the 1-inch strip to the 1.5-inch strip for each leg. When connected, the legs will be evenly sized. I first connected the two with a screw to keep everything in place, and then I used a countersink bit and made sure to pre-drill for the holes with a 1/8-inch bit. Next up, gluing and screwing everything together. Oh, what would I use it for? I think a nightstand would be a good idea, or a side table, a corner in the dining room. I see lots of possibilities here. Once the legs were connected, I measured and marked where I wanted each shelf, starting at 6 inches off the ground. I decided to have each shelf at 13 inches apart and mark the place for each one on the legs. At this point, it was just a matter of connecting each shelf to the marked out position on the legs. I countersank each hole, pre-drilled, and then used glue and screws. Now we need to address the lamp. It doesn't matter how you connect lamp wires because polarity doesn't matter. I started with disassembling the lamp. I cut off the cord, removed the metal parts, and then I cut the metal piping part in half because I decided I could use it. To set up the lamp, I cut up a piece of wood, drilled a hole through it, found the center on a shelf, drilled a hole through that, attached the wooden block to the shelf, and then connected the lamp part to that. Cool. I bought 2 lamps, one to use the bulb part and one to use the switch part. Then it was a matter of putting them together. I spliced the 2 cords together to make one connection, securing with electrical tape. Here we go. Even though diodes are sensitive to polarity, modern LED-style replacement incandescent bulbs have been engineered to work regardless of polarity, so you don't have to worry. I cut up some strips of plywood to create a frame on the top shelf where my lamp is going, to connect everything together and make the frame more stable and look better. I added pieces at the top and at the bottom on the shelf, securing everything with screws. Next, I spackled over any holes, trying to get as smooth a surface as possible before sanding and painting. To provide a shade at the top shelf, I used linen fabric. I made 4 panels, which I glued and stapled together. For this part, you could also use rice paper or frosted glass. And and then I stapled the fabric to the panels, trying to get it as tight as possible on. Ambient lighting is something very important when it comes to making a space feel right. We don't always want a task light. Sometimes we just want to make a space feel right and highlight certain parts. That's when fabric is really a good idea to use. Then it was a matter of putting in all of the panels. For the last part, I decided to drill some holes in the top and attach a small strong magnet with epoxy in each corner. The staples in the corner on the top panel provides enough metal to lightly secure the top panel in place. Here you could also use Velcro, for example. When putting a bulb in a confined space, make sure there's enough space around it. For that, I like to use LED bulbs because they produce less heat. With everything ready, I reconnected the lamp part and attached it to the shelf. I put in the panels, and then we have the moment of truth. It works. Let's see if we can't get this place a little darker. Easy to put in, easy to take out. This is a great project because it utilizes multiple talents. So for example, if you like to do woodworking and your wife, for example, likes to work with fabric, then you could work together on something like this. Or if you have a friend who likes to do wiring and play with lamps and electricity, then you could collaborate on a project like this. So if you feel like your home could use a little bit more ambiance, a little bit more storage, then this is a really great project. It also is not very difficult, there are just multiple parts to it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in a couple of days. So much better than compact fluorescent.